Bienvenidos. Soy la Bruja Espinada, and I am here with a very, very special winter solstice reading. So let's get started. So the change of the season is about to occur. The Northern Hemisphere, December 21st. Let's see what messages we have for you. Ooh, so we start with the Six of Swords. The Devil, who rears their head again, but the Tower. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Wands, the Ten of Cups, the Two of Coins, the Magician, the Four of Coins, the King of Swords, the Two of Wands, the King of Coins. For right now, I'm gonna stop here. I will pull this next card, but I need to break this down for you really quick. Making sure we have these all in order. Here we go. So, starting with the Six of Swords, overcoming a moment of difficulty. Typically when it's swords, it's the symbol of overcoming a battle. I say overcoming because while typically the Six of Swords would indicate that there's a battle that has been won, that isn't, battles that are won aren't without some type of loss. So as you see here, these two are looking for safety. They're in search of something new. They are no longer staying in the past, but they're moving forward. Now, when we have the Devil and the Tower, the Devil, as shown here, depicted as the snake, a snake on fire. This is massive. So this snake in particular is in reference to the snake of the Garden of Eden, the devil, temptation. There's a lot that needs to be overcome when the Tower has shown up, as it came up in the last reading. We are at a peak of the year as the year comes to a close. A new season is coming. It is a season of hibernation. It is a season of sleep. It is a season of death. But of those things, rebirth occurs. But things have to sleep. Things have to come to an end of a cycle before a new cycle can begin. This Tower is that indicator. There is some major change that needs to occur. However, in this particular depiction of the Tower, we see golden braided hair. This individual right here has chopped away their hair. Oh, sorry, it's right here. This individual right here has chopped away their hair in order to free themselves. If they would have stayed with their hair, they would have been tethered to the rocky foundation that is the Tower. So, throwing yourself overboard in order to survive. Huge, huge, huge symbolism here, especially when this is overcoming some battles and it's followed by death. You have to either start working. Your foundation is going to be shaken up if it hasn't been shaken up already. But the shaking up of this foundation is an indicator to overcome any vices that no longer serve you, whether that's gambling, whether that's being a shopaholic, whether that's drinking, whether that's overworking yourself and not giving yourself plenty of rest, whether that's being petty and causing all kinds of arguments, or, you know, stirring the pot where it doesn't need to be stirred. Whatever the case may be, Vices could be anything. The whole point of this is your foundation is being rocked, if it hasn't been rocked already, in order to overcome this vice and for you to start anew. Now we have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands here is depicted by Pele, the Hawaiian goddess. And as you see here, she has a bit of a smirk. She knows her power. She knows her abilities. Now, embracing the Queen of Wands, someone who is a master of their power, a person that's a master of their passions, a person that is all-encompassing and powerful, and something that you've been striving for. It's shown in a lot of the readings, and yet there's things that hold you back. You're only holding yourself back in that case because you're not letting it go. And the reason why I know this is not only are you striving to become a better version of yourself, but you're in search of ultimate happiness. You're in search of this, how do I explain this? Okay, so this image here that's in the Ten of Cups is mer people. And if you can see here, there is a human with a mer person, and they are sharing bliss. They've joined together and they've created something new. And this makes them completely happy. This is what you are working towards, have been working towards, something. Not necessarily a family, although that may be part of it. Creating your own home, creating your own family, creating your own business. You're creating something. This is what you've been striving for. Something, you're trying to create something that is your own. A blend of a healthier you with embracing the old you, or who you currently are. It's a blend. You can't do one without the other. It's like, I actually read something today. Now, this is what this is reminding me of. You can want to be a better you while you work towards loving you as you currently are and accepting the you used to be. You are you. You are shedding. You are like a snake. Every single, and I use a snake because as a snake grows bigger, or even lizards, reptiles, as they grow bigger, they shed skin every single time. And if they don't shed that skin, then they can't grow. But as they shed that skin, they're super vulnerable before their scales strengthen and they become a larger, stronger version of what they used to be. This is kind of what this is showing. Your ultimate Ten of Cups is not just striving to be this better individual, but accepting those three things. Who you are trying to become while you are loving who you currently are and accepting who you used to be. And you have to choose this. Again, we come out with the Two of Coins. Look at this poor individual struggling, trying to put on a brave face. Now, as you see here, there's a child that is half bear and a bear that is half child. It is a balance. Similar to this, you're making that blend occur. But it's not easy. She's trying to put on a brave face while, look, there's struggle. There is some type of suffering. What will you choose? What will you choose? I'm just trying to get a feel of what else she could be feeling. at least my interpretation of the look on her face, is she's trying to put on a brave face for the child. Another thing could be that she is showing more care for the more humanistic over the more animalistic portion, as opposed to looking towards the bear child versus the child bear. I'm calling this one child bear and this one bear child because it's more bear than child, right? And yet you can see she's holding this one up higher versus the one that's kind of weighing her down. This can be interpreted in so many different ways. It's up to you to take what resonates with you. Are you struggling? Have you been focusing more on one thing than the other? Again, that's a theme that keeps reoccurring, where focus has been primarily on the money aspect of life instead of the emotional aspect, which is why there's 10 of Cups here. And I know there's still issues in regard, this is primarily money based, not only because this is 2 of Coins, but we have the 4 of Coins. As you see here, this young individual is kind of hoarding the wealth that they have, and they are being embraced by the vulture. And in the background, you see a little hummingbird. Now, the vulture feasts on decaying flesh. And here, with this young individual who's trying to hoard some wealth, there's fear on her face as her brows are kind of furrowed. There's a lot of worry. There's been a lot of money worry, and that's not to say that it isn't without good reason, but you have the ability to do both. However, and I've mentioned this before, when you start to neglect you and you start treating yourself as a money-making machine, machines need tune-ups, and continual running of a machine will break down. Not everyone has a lifetime warranty, but you have the ability to make that change. How are you going to cut free from that foundation that you've been so used to standing on? Now we have the Magician. Looks very much like the fairy godmother. The magician is able to create, and in the background you'll see here, this depicted with the star, a sign of hope, a glimmer of hope. But you have to choose what you want to do with that. Are you going to keep hoarding, or are you going to focus on making that change occur? Letting go of those bad habits, those vices that hold you down, that keep you from building anew, for searching for new things, for becoming that strong, powerful individual that's able to intermingle everything that needs to be intermingled. And on top of that, with this, there has to be a choice. Well, this is kind of like you have to choose. This is also kind of a statement of like, it's trying to find that balance. I've mentioned this before in one of the other readings. If it wasn't this past reading, it was the reading before. It's a balance. Searching for spiritual, emotional, physical, mental balance is not easy. You will never be evenly balanced, no matter how hard you try. However, the balance might keel to one side versus the other, but it's like when you're trying to balance on your foot, you have to find that equilibrium. And then eventually you might fall over, or once you might tip to one side, but once you rebalance, you can hold that balance. It depends for how long and what you're willing to do. Because you have the ability to make it happen. Now, then we're followed by the King of Swords. The no bullshit king. No bullshit sovereign. They cut that bullshit out. Cut that bullshit out. Cut the bullshit out. Cut the bullshit out. You may be asking, what bullshit? And I kind of feel like either one, you know exactly what bullshit, and 1, 2, 3, 4 things came to mind that is probably the bullshit, and you're just trying to say like, well, if you didn't say which one, nah. You know exactly. It could be all of them. Take your pick, because it's a vice. You can have more vice than one. You can have more than one vice. That's why they're referred to as your vices versus your vice. You can have more than one. Cut the bullshit. Cut the bullshit, because you need to become the bullshit cutter. You want to be all powerful? Sovereigns aren't just all like, I'm powerful and sit there. They make decisions that lead countries, that sustain communities. You are your community. Cut the bullshit. You know what you have to cut. You know exactly what it is you got to stop. Or if it's because another víbora, another snake is trying to come in, you know how to get that shit to knock off. You know how to. It's time. Now, again, we have the Two of Wands. This or that. This one is that sign. Which way am I going to go? There is the depiction of earth, wood versus metal. One looks very young. One looks older. One is barely starting out. One is learned. Which, are you going to go back to the old ways? Are you going to start anew? Or are you going to follow the path that you feel like, you know what, I've learned my lesson. I know I can go down this path. What are you going to choose? Because then we're met with the King of Coins. The King of Coins, this is ultimately what you're trying to reach. This is what you're trying to reach. And you can achieve it. You gotta make that choice to take that leap, overcome those vices, start somewhere new, start something new, and we'll move on. And the reason why I'm sticking my finger in your face is, since these two cards keep coming out, the Two of Wands and the Two of Coins, there's nothing wrong with feeling it, sitting, as you should always sit in your emotions. You should always sit in your emotions, feel them. I know it's hard to feel your emotions, but I fuck this shit, I got shit to do. I've been there, I've done that, I get you. But in this instance, you've been sitting there too long. This is La Llorona. This is La Llorona with the Five of Cups. As you see here, she's crying over these spilt cups, these spilt goblets. But behind her, there's still two. And she's about to be dragged down. Dressed in the style of Veracruz. Now, is the weeping woman actually La Llorona, or is La Llorona dragging her down? What is still holding you back? If you turn and say, oh, I failed this many times. Look at how many times I failed, as symbolized by the Three Cups. There are still two successes. Either there's still things that you've been successful for, and or there's still successes waiting. Don't quit. Don't quit. This is not a symbol of quitting. This is a symbol of hope, that you are taking that chance to survive, taking yourself somewhere new to thrive. And then we end this with the King of Cups, a dragon, very powerful entity, a protector of water, a protector of emotions, a protector of cups. Actually, I was gonna say this was the last one, but we are followed by the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords, again, a symbol of having that ability to use either or, to cut the bullshit here, cut the bullshit there, cut other people's bullshit, centering oneself to begin that journey. In the background, there's a whirlpool on one end, and then there's a many-headed monster, a many-headed dragon. And if I could, I can continue pulling cards. I'm going to pull this last one just as a significance of something good. We have the King of Coins. You're striving for greatness, improvement, but you can't let yourself keep wallowing. You can't keep demanding so much of your body. You have to find that balance. That's what this is. You need to find that balance. You have to work towards that balance. It's time. Wake up. Wake up. Cut that bullshit. It is time to find the balance. There's a lot of twos here. There's a lot of twos. You actually have a lot of earth. You have a lot of fire. You have a lot of water. You have a lot of air. This is all about finding your balance. This is the season where you stop. You let things come to an end as they're supposed to, because, as I said, with the winter coming through, it is the end of a cycle, or a new cycle to begin. Spring is where things start to bloom. Now is the time. Hibernation is, a lot of people have seasonal depression because a lot of people are alone. And realistically, that's the best time to go within and start finding what you truly want for yourself. Divine Mothers, what do they have for us? We have a message from Teresa of Avila, Our Lady of the Interior Life. I trust the answers I find within me. I know that the presence of love is real. You know, guys, I tend to say I don't make this shit up because I don't. I do not. 35. With passion and conviction, Teresa of Avila connects us to the love and truth available to us when we turn inward. Saint Teresa was born in Avila, Spain in 1515. As an adolescent, she experienced many illnesses and was confined to a bed, which allowed her to begin to explore her own thoughts. She read every book she could find on spiritual exploration and contemplative prayer. By the time she was a young adult, she knew she wanted to dedicate her life to the interior world. She entered a Carmelite convent in Avila in 1535. She increased the emphasis on contemplative prayer and eventually reformed the Carmelite order, which was later joined by Saint John of the Cross. Over the course of her life, Saint Teresa founded 17 convents throughout Spain. At the age of 44, she began to have a series of visions that convinced her that Jesus Christ appeared to her in bodily form and yet remained invisible to the eye. These visions lasted for 2 years and would inform her books especially the spiritual masterpiece, The Interior Castle, which charts the ascent of the soul as an inner journey through 7 mansions, or states of being, that exist within us. Ultimately, Teresa wrote in hope of assisting her sisters in the convent to also reach the innermost castle where God dwells in our soul. She reminded them that we ourselves are the castle, and that the door of the entry into the castle is prayer and meditation. Her own personal spiritual experience is at the root of her instruction. The closer she gets to the 7th mansion, where the soul ascends, which requires going further inward, the stronger the light is. She describes ways to discern the voice of and presence of the divine within us, and the certainty of God that arrives that cannot be explained or doubted. This inner journey is so significant to St. Teresa because she believed that God didn't care about the magnitude of anything we do, but rather the amount of love that we do it with. Pope Paul VI named St. Teresa a doctor of the Church in 1970. Her spiritual writings are considered integral to the Spanish Renaissance and to the history of Christian mysticism. When your soul selects her card, St. Teresa is a call for the importance of the interior life. She knew immediately about the spiritual wealth we all possess and have access to if we are willing to go inward. She not only emphasized the need to meditate and to pray in order to reach that innermost castle where the soul waits for us, but she also instructed the sisters of her convent on how to discern the presence of the soul, or of a saint or of a holy person that has given us wisdom from within us. She had a bookmark that supposedly read, "If you have God, you will want for nothing. God alone suffices." This synthesizes the wisdom of her experience. Nothing less than divine love will satiate a seeker, especially once you have met with it from within. She urges us to meditate, to pray, and to go inward and meet with the presence of the soul. And then she asks for us to believe that it is real and that the answers we find are real. She asks us to move that inner truth out into the world with confidence and conviction. So, one thing to meditate. What does love feel like in my body? So remember, I trust the answers I find within me. I know that the presence of love is real. Woo! Meditation is key. Gotta let yourself go within. Conquer those devils within. Animal spirit guides. Ooh. You guys want to laugh? Guess what came out? Snake spirit. Time to heal. Woo! And we have the seahorse spirit. Watch and wait. Seahorses are equivalent to dragons. I don't make this shit up, guys. I seriously don't. Okay, snake spirit. All of us need healing at times, and when snake spirit appears, it is time to repair, renew, and replenish yourself and your vulnerable heart. Self-care and maintenance work are needed so that your vitality can arise. Give yourself the space to nourish your own well-being. My guys, vulnerability is necessary for friendships and partnerships to work, which means all of us will have tender emotions at times. Be gentle with yourself and others now. Shed the past and step into a new way of being, for vitality is rising in you. This might be a good time to honor the work that you've done to heal, grow, and repair any damage within you, within those you care about, and within your community. Celebrate together how far all of you have come in your healing journey and all that you have created. Unburden yourself of anything that no longer supports wellness, prosperity, positive relationships, and well-being, and open the door for healing to occur. No matter how much you may have lost, or how you have been disappointed, or how you are called by Snake Spirit to shed the past and practice radical self-acceptance now. Only by forgiving yourself can you move on, regardless of whether anyone else is ready for healing. When your tender new skin becomes exposed, you may feel uncomfortable. Love yourself and remain vulnerable anyways. You have been weak, but now you're becoming strong and developing wisdom, and you will do better in the future. Snake Spirit reminds you that hearts can be so easily wounded. Apologies and amends go a long way. Self-forgiveness for your role in what happened can help you heal. Remember, it is the one who has been wounded who often has the greatest power to help others heal. Well, damn. Let us move on to the beloved Seahorse Spirit. Hovering gracefully, the seahorse observes with the perspective of one who is not engulfed by the drama. Remaining at a distance from all turbulence, Seahorse Spirit appears at this time to remind you of the need to be neutral and gain perspective. Your message from Seahorse Spirit is, not my circus, not my monkeys. Spirit wants you to know that even if you are tempted to jump into the fray and try to fix things, the best way to serve yourself and others right now is to remain calm, watch, and see. Another message here is that whatever your query, Seahorse Spirit asks you take a step back from it. Be willing to explore things from different angles rather than a single one, and just observe what is possible. From the perspective of the position of a neutral observer, you will discover a myriad of opportunities and a deeper understanding of what you seek and why. And you will know beauty, truth, love, and wisdom. Are you holding on to judgment, sure that your perspective is the only correct way to look at things? There are many perspectives as there are creatures in the sea. And when Seahorse Spirit appears, you're reminded to detach from the experience so you can view it from more than one angle. Pay attention to your hidden beliefs and how they affect the way you think, feel, and act. Are you being fair to all involved? Or do you need to step back? Perhaps the drama you've always been drawn to is your own. Whatever the actions of others, your challenge is to be non-reactive and take their words or behaviors and do not take their words and behaviors personally. Their turbulence may have little to do with you, so remain neutral until you know more. Your perspective may be quite different in time. Well, I mean, if all of that didn't just reiterate what I just told you, I don't make this shit up. This is what I am guided to share. So I sincerely hope this message helps, and I will see you guys next time.